Alright, hey guys, it's me again with another disc golf vlog. I'm out here to do a review today. This will be my first attempt ever at doing a disc review. So how I'm going to do my reviews is, I guess it's my first review, so I don't really know where to start, so I'm just going to start somewhere. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what disc it is, obviously, and then I'm going to tell you what plastics they're available in currently. There's also some discs have like limited edition fundraising plastics, and I'll also go over that if they are available. And if I have that plastic, I will take it with me and I will throw it so you can see what that particular plastic blend flies like. Unfortunately, there is a breeze right now, and you know, that also takes factors in it as well. Since there is a breeze, I can only talk about what it flies like without a breeze in my experience. And if there is a breeze, then you'll see how it flies with the breeze, and I'll try to do a commentary or comment as I throw these. So the disc I have, the first review I have is a Challenger today. Since it's a little breezy like this, I wasn't going to do the magnet. I already kind of talked about the magnet a little bit. It wasn't really a review, but it was kind of an overview. But you know, my first attempt at doing this review is going to be the Discraft magnet. I love putters. I'm a huge fan of them, and so I decided to pick a putter as my first disc review. So the Challenger is made by Discraft. It comes in the Pro D plastic. This is the old school Pro D plastic. It's a flat top, pretty much. It's very flat, and I'll show you what it looks like up close here. So you can see right here. See how flat that is? Yeah. All right. So that's the old school Pro D. The new school Pro D, I mean, it doesn't look like, you know, the stamp doesn't look like this, but you can see it's a little bit more domey. Just a hair bit more dome. And this is the new school Pro D plastic, and they all come like sort of like similar to this now. You can probably hear the wind coming in here. The Challenger also comes in a soft Elite X soft, which I don't have with me. Actually, I think a friend of mine bought one for me recently, but I don't know where I put it. So it's probably at home and I forgot to bring it with me. It also comes in this Midnight Z plastic, which is for fundraising, promotional purposes. So this is, you know, I can't really find these anymore. But it also comes in that plastic as a fundraiser. And it also comes in Z plastic, Elite Z. So the black one is a Midnight Z. It's a little bit different than the Z. The Elite Z, this is also limited edition for fundraising as well. So those are the plastics that the Challenger comes in. Now, the Challenger is considered an overstable putter, but it's not as overstable as you think. It's actually has a slight bead on it, but the bead is not as pronounced as something like a Judge or the Big Bead AVR. The Big Bead AVR actually has a more pronounced bead than something like a Challenger. So I want you to keep that in mind as I throw these. And also my Pro D, the classic version of it, is very beat in. So the bead kind of wears down a little bit over time. The new Pro D, the lip is more pronounced than the beat up Pro D, but again, it's not as pronounced as something like a Judge or some of the other overstable putters on the market. And then, of course, you know, the Midnight Z plastic also has that bead. But the Challenger overall is not as overstable as some of the other beaded putters, okay? It is stable. It is considered overstable if you're a beginner. But as soon as you get the hang of throwing on a putter, it's actually a nice entry level in the overstable category for putters. All right, so to demonstrate that, I'll give you an idea. I have a headwind right now coming at me, and you can see my hair flipping that way. And then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it into the headwind on a Anhyzer with a classic Pro D, and I'm going to do the same thing with the new Pro D. This is a fairly new disc. I've only thrown it a couple times. And then I'm also going to do the same thing with the Midnight Z and the Z. While you're watching this, the Elite X Soft does fly very similar to the Pro D. It's just a softer version, but it's not that different from the Pro D. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it, and then that pole all the way down there is 300 feet away from where the camera is. So I'll show you where the pole is. It's actually right there. That pole, this light pole, is 300 feet away from where we are standing. I know it doesn't look that far, but it's far. And then I'm gonna walk down there, wherever the discs land, I'm gonna walk down there, I'm gonna throw them back at the camera so you can see how it flies towards you. And while I'm down there, I will have my GoPro on so that later at the end of the video, you'll have a compilation of all the GoPro shots. All right, so first I'm gonna throw my Pro D Challenger. I'm gonna turn on my GoPro, and then in the headwind, I'm gonna put in a slight hyzer like this. Not like this, but just like this, okay? So here we go. And that is a slight hyzer, as you can see. And you know, it breaks through the wind pretty well. Now the wind just picked up, so I'm gonna throw this orange one. And you can see that wind is a little bit more high speed than the first set of wind, if there's such a thing. All right, so now I'm gonna throw the Midnight Z plastic. And the Z plastic does skip a little bit more than the Pro D. We'll do the same thing with this. This is a brand new Z. I have not thrown it, so I'm trying to show you what it looks like brand new out of the box here. The wind's picking up again, so I'm gonna do it again. And you can see the wind flip that up, but it just kept gliding. All right, I'm gonna walk down there. So what I'm going to do now is throw the Pro D, the same order, the classic Pro D back. I'm going to turn my GoPro. And I'm going to throw this. Now this time it's a tailwind. I'm still going to throw it the same way. I'm still going to throw a hyzer so that you can see if, you know, it'll flip up or not with a tailwind and if it's going to make it more overstable. So here we go. I apologize for that. I threw it really low. And it stayed high the whole way though. So let me try this again. This is the new Pro D. And there's the new Pro D on a hyzer. This is with tailwind, of course. And now I'm going to throw the Midnight Z. Tailwind's picked up. And you can see that tailwind is just making that disc a lot more overstable. All right, tailwind's picked up again. This is the brand new Z. And there we go. So that's what they look like on hyzer shots with headwind and tailwind. I'm gonna throw it flat like this. Throw it flat like this, and then with this tailwind, see if it'll turn it over. It should. And that tailwind just completely pushed it over. All right. Do this again. Do this again. You can see that headwind pressing is turning over the disc, but the disc still either goes down flat or comes back slightly, but it doesn't come back all the way, of course. So here's the brand new Z. And that brand new Z is turning over and not coming back. Trying to throw it flat again. I'm going to aim at the camera. Hopefully I don't hit it. And that's with the tailwind. Okay, that was the classic Pro D. Now this is the new school Pro D. I'm sorry, the old school Pro D. Here's a new school one. And you can see that tailwind or the natural attribute of the disc wanting to dive because it's considered overstable. And then with the tailwind didn't help. Okay, here comes the Midnight Z. And yeah, this tailwind is just making it very overstable. But you can tell that this is not going to die if something, like something like a judge. But here we go again. This is the Z plastic, brand new. Oh, I'm sorry, I shanked that, so that was my fault. All right, let's do Anhyzers and we'll be done. All right, I'll try to throw an Anhyzer with this headwind is a terrible idea, but I'm sorry, I was out of frame there, but I'm gonna try. And that's a very beat-in, classic, old school Pro D Challenger. So it's going to stay in the Anhyzer very well. And then, of course, with the headwind, it just kept carrying the disc. All right, here's a new school Pro D. And that thing decided to stall on me because I threw it incorrectly. Okay, here we go. This is the Midnight Z. And that stayed Anhyzer pretty well. I did not want it to hit the asphalt, but it did. So now this is the Z, the new Z, out of the box. And that wind decided to make it very understable to the point where it started rolling. So, okay, here we go. Okay, now I'm going to try and do the same thing, Anhyzer, but with a tailwind this time, and see if I can get anything done here. I'm just doing more control shots because I don't want it to hit the asphalt. All right, this is a new Pro D. And that tailwind just stabilized that orange one pretty quick there. The newer disc, so of course it's gonna be a little bit more stable than my beat up Pro D. All right, here comes the Z, the Midnight Z. The tailwind just stabilized that disc, and it actually hyzered a little bit at the end there. Okay, here we go. Last shot of the day. Brand new Z. Well, not so brand new now, but you get the idea. Here we go. So, I don't know what's going on with that brand new Z, but all right, so that concludes the throwing portion of the review. So yeah, so I wanted to show you guys as much of the throwing as possible, so you can see how the different plastics fly within the same mold of disc. So the Pro D, the old school Pro D seems to fly, for me, a little bit better. I like it. I think maybe because it's flatter. I don't know. Or it could also be the fact that it's beat in. With a windy day like this, it still fought through the wind, as you can see on a hyzer flat. Of course, on an Anhyzer, it's not going to come back. The wind, the headwind just took it, but it kept going. So that's a part of the game I can certainly utilize, because I can certainly use this even an Anhyzer shot if I know there's a headwind. So there's multiple uses for this particular Pro D. The orange Pro D is a newer Pro D. And this one definitely breaks through the headwind a lot better than the old school Pro D. And obviously it's a newer disc, so of course it's going to do that. And I think the fact that it's a little bit more domey also helps, with the breaking through the wind. Throwing on an Anhyzer, I didn't give it enough snap, but you can see that it just stalled, so that wasn't really a good shot. But just like this on a headwind, throwing on an Anhyzer, it definitely would withstand the wind a little bit better than the old school Pro D, because this one's obviously beat up. So a brand new Pro D is not going to give you the same problem that it did to me today, and of course obviously throwing it properly. And then as far as, if you've noticed, I don't know if you noticed or not, but the Midnight Z Challenger seems to have the most glide out of all 4 different plastics. And like I said, the Elite X Soft is going to be the similar as the Pro D plastic. So the Midnight Z definitely has a much more glide. It's really easy to use. It's bead in. I love this disc. This is why it's still in my bag for approach shots, for driving off the tee. A headwind like this, you know, the wind is going to take it because it's a little bit bead in. But you know, even throwing it on a Anhyzer, it will come back for you. It won't come back as far as something like a very overstable putter, but it will come back because it's got a small bead on it. The Z, brand new out of the box. I haven't thrown this until today for this review, and for some reason it's understable. It's not. I mean, it's not completely unstable, but it's not as stable as some of the other ones. I might use this for straight shots. I might put it in my bag just for that purpose. And I think, I'm not sure why, but that's what happened with this Z plastic, this Z Discraft. But yeah, so those are the discs that you saw thrown today. My overall thoughts is that in the Discraft lineup, this one is not going to be as overstable as something like a Banger GT. But it's going to be a little bit more stable than your Focus, and if you want something less stable than the Focus, you have to step down all the way to the Magnet, and that's going to be the least stable out of all the putters. So if you want, for me, I don't have a very powerful arm. I don't have a very weak arm either. My arm is kind of like in that zone where it doesn't know, you know, I don't know which category I'm in. I can throw far, but not really. I can throw a bit farther than 100 feet, so that's not too bad. So this disc fits that category for me. It fits me for that purpose. I don't use this for putting. I only use it for approaching, and it works out very well. I love throwing this off the tee box, and as you can see all the shots today, I love throwing it off the tee. It Anhyzers, it will do Anhyzers, and so if there's no headwind today, it would have done Anhyzer, but it would have come back, but not as much as you think. So those are the shots that I like. I think you know, a right-handed shot, so an Anhyzer shot, these would work out pretty well because it seems to work out pretty well for me. So yeah, so if you were to compare this disc to any other brands, like other manufacturers, you know, the Dynamic disc has the Judge, which is considered their overstable. The Judge is going to be a little bit more stable than this disc, though. I do have the Judge. I have thrown off the tee shots with it. It will come back a little bit harder than this disc. And then as far as Innova, you would want to look at something like, I'm not very familiar with Innova's putters, but Innova's got a big bead AVR. That's a little bit more stable for you. And then you know, all the, let's see, what else do they have? They also have the Rhino, but I'm not sure if the Rhino is overstable or not. I'm not very familiar, like I said. I'm only familiar with the Challengers and a little bit of Dynamic disc stuff. But anyways, if you have any other questions, or if you want me to go out and try Innova discs, I will certainly see if I can find somebody who will let me borrow their discs and try it out, and I will do a review on that if you want me to. But anyways, if you have any comments, any questions, any suggestions, leave it in the comment section. Email me at votocycling@gmail.com. This has been my first review, or a review of a putter. Hopefully we get to bring some more soon later on. I'm sorry if it's a little long. I just want to be as complete as possible. And it's going to start raining, so I'm going to go before my camera breaks. This is Ian with Votocycling. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.